Hello and happy Advent season. We are on week 2. It's Sunday as I'm recording this, so we're entering week 2, which the theme for this week is peace. But before I do that, I wanted to reflect kind of on the previous week and give a little Advent update for our house. So I talked in our previous episode about what we were going to try to incorporate, and we loved the Advent candles and the Advent wreath. We love doing that. So we would just light the candle at supper time and maybe say some prayers or sing, O come, Emmanuel, and then dive right into our food and everything. But it did open the door for some different conversation than the normal, I don't want to eat this that we usually hear. So we loved that. Loved giving them the visual, because then I also appreciated that when we went into church this morning that the boys recognized the Advent wreath that was up at the front and recognized that we were on week 2 because the second candle was lit. So we loved that. And we did our Advent calendar. There were a couple days I changed it, and then I looked up this morning and I told Brian that we are apparently ahead of schedule on our Advent calendar, because one of the boys got up there and I think we're good through the 12th now. So they're just adding like the little Velcro stickers, Velcro puffy stickers or whatever onto the nativity scene. So we've loved doing that too, but they haven't been as into that, I would say. I expect them to be more into that as we get closer to Christmas. But yeah, even beyond the boys, I feel like this Advent season is working on me as well, which is obviously good. About midweek, probably on Thursday, I had kind of a conviction that I'll share. So I mentioned last week that we are hosting Christmas, and we're super excited about it. It's going to be a big group, and we're really excited. One thing I love about hosting, it's like a love-hate relationship. I love that the blinders come off when you're getting ready to host. Like the things, the clutter that you've been passing by for weeks, suddenly you're like, okay, I have to do something about this. And I love that about inviting people into your house. I think it's very healthy to do that often enough that you do have those blinders come off and I don't know, keep things nice, get rid of things. So all that to say, our to-do list is very long. This week was also really busy with work, and I traveled some, and I don't always travel. I went to Fort Worth and Houston, and that's not even that much for some people that travel compared to what they do. But for me, it's a lot, because then it was like, when you're traveling, you don't get your normal work done. So then I had a lot piling up. So anyways, it was just a busy week. And somewhere around Thursday, it started to occur to me that my stressing and over the prep for Christmas may need to be checked, and that it may not be in the spirit of Advent. And don't get me wrong, I'm still going to prep hard. I want things to be nice. I'm going to work hard on making sure that everything is clean and as perfect as it can be, for my family, and for all the family that's coming on Christmas. But I need to make sure that that's not my obsession over these next few weeks, and that we're not, like Brian and I both are not sacrificing our peace over that. So I had already kind of been thinking of that on Thursday, been like, okay, I need to relax just a little bit. I still want to do all these things. And it's kind of a reminder. We've talked about this before on several different topics on the podcast, but even good things can get in the way of your focus on your relationship with God. And so even those things need to be checked as well. So I had been thinking that, and then went to church today, and Deacon's homily discussed, he went over 4 different types of pride. And I don't even remember exactly how it's hashed out. I looked it up. There's like different ways that they organize or I don't know, type these groups of pride, but basically they all kind of line up. So 1 over material things, 2 over, I would say, like your own accomplishments, 3 on intelligence, just thinking that you know better than everybody. I suffer from that a lot, I'll tell y'all. And then also spirituality. Again, just kind of thinking that you're further along than others, maybe. And so he was just talking about those things. And again, I was just, I went back to my conviction that I had felt earlier in the week and thought, yep, no, that's exactly it. I don't want that. I don't want to be so focused on those material things or, how our house looks and everything that I look up and like Christmas is over. My mom used to always say, still says, that Christmas, the day is great, but it's also all the anticipation coming up. And I don't want to miss all of that because I'm so focused on, cleaning things up, fixing things up, organizing things for Christmas Day. So anyways, I had this visual during church about just the thought of an innkeeper in Bethlehem just fussing over having, the rooms just right and everything, and then getting a tap at the door and it being Mary and Joseph, and rather than making room for Jesus, they just send Mary and Joseph on, and it's like no, we don't have room. Oof. I don't want that. So Deacon was talking about, the antidote to that pride is humility. And so I'm going to make sure that that's kind of what I'm focused on these next couple of weeks, is being as humbly prepared as I can be. So I'm going to hope for Christ's coming, not for my family's approval of how my house looks or how well we host. And that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for me. But I will work on it. So on that note, hopefully I will be experiencing more peace by letting some of that go, which is this week's theme. So this week's candle is called the Bethlehem candle, in reference to Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem. So in my head, I was thinking about this, this past week was kind of like the hustle and bustle of packing before a road trip. Or in this case, Mary and Joseph's case, all the hustle and bustle of the Nazarene version of a hospital bag. Pack it all on the donkey and let's go. That's kind of what this past week was like for me. And I'm so glad that looking into last week that I had the Advent reflection from Emily Stimson Chapman on taking it easy as far as Christmas decorations and just ease into the season. But we're on the road now. So we are on the road now. We'll continue our candle lighting this week and singing O Come, Emmanuel at supper, as well as all the Christmas songs that we're going to sing at bedtime that I mentioned last week in preparation for our Christmas concert at the nursing home, which I'm so looking forward to. But I think the Christmas season and activities are all such great opportunities to break from routine and remember the important things. And, when you're getting ready for a road trip, or at least this is me and Brian, and I've seen memes or reels to this end where it's once you get in it's all chaos. And then once you get in the vehicle, you have to just kind of unwind and pretend that y'all didn't all just, try to kill each other getting everything ready. But like I said, the point is we're on the road now. We're on the road. We're getting, this is the fun part. We're heading towards Christ's coming. And so we'll keep doing those things that we were doing. I do love all the Christmas season and activities, all such great opportunities to break from that routine and remember the important things. One thing I may try to do this week, since we are heavy into the decluttering and organizing, my friend Lindsay sent this idea to me. It's to place an empty tub. Now I'll do it under our Advent calendar, happens to be a good spot, and encourage the boys to think throughout the week about toys that they may be ready to pass on to someone else. which is really difficult in our house because our ages, they're close together. So it's like when one's done with it, it's probably about time for the middle to get it and then time for the little one. But in all reality, like we've just got so much, too much, that I can't even wrap my head around adding as many as we're going to add for Christmas, by the time it's all said and done with all of the family Christmases and everything. So in the past, I've done this where I said, okay, like this is a thing for me before Christmas. Like, let's clear out some of these things that we don't use. And I've had the conversations with the boys and kind of tackled it like a Sunday afternoon project. And that was fine. Like, I remember June got really into it one year, and then it was like the next year. I feel like it's almost more difficult as they get older. He was a lot more hesitant, like, wait, I don't know if I'm done with that, and just kind of second guessing. And so I'm actually looking forward to doing it this different way this year, where I just kind of like set the tub out and we talk about it throughout the week. And my hope is that this method of just leaving it out, that we can keep talking about the joy of giving throughout the week and about humility and not having too much pride in material things like Deacon said, and again, just the joy of giving, etc. And that they will kind of like internally wrestle with those thoughts over the course of the next week or so. And maybe just have that running through their head where they can be more mindful as they're going through the house, playing with different, toys in different areas of the house, and give up some on their own. That's my hope, at least. I will definitely report back to y'all, and ultimately I will do a cleanse as well on their behalf, whether they like it or not. We've got to make room. And it really is fun to give. I spent a lot of the weekend going through the boys' clothes finally. That was something that I did not want to tackle, but going through their clothes and, packing some away for the season, like for warmer seasons, but a lot of it I'm giving away. And I even had I went back through today some boxes that I had packed for the purpose of us packing them away and like not giving them away. And I went back through them and I put most of it in the giveaway pile. And that's one thing that I would encourage y'all to do. I know a lot of people sell their clothes when they're done with them. And that definitely has its place because, hello, we could all use some money this time of year as well. So that's a great way to do it. But if you can, or if this is, a good time of year for you to do this, maybe think about cleaning out your closet, cleaning out your shoes, going through your kids' stuff, and giving it away. Or, if you have somebody in your life that you could give it to them if you can. No price. Again, I know there's a time and place for selling things. That I do that too, marketplace. But I have always enjoyed like the idea of giving our clothes away. And the fact is we have had a ton of things handed down to us as well. And so I just want to be good stewards of that blessing as well. So, let's see, some Christmas things that I'm enjoying. Obviously I've told y'all I'm enjoying the Advent wreath and candle lighting, but I'm going to have to, reorder candles. And that's a funny story. Clyde, we went through the whole week so well. And then last night as they were eating supper, and Brian and I were busy about the house. Actually, we were like changing light bulbs and stuff. So the boys were eating supper and Brian came in to Clyde, using 2 of the candles as drumsticks. And he broke them. So I'm going to have to order a couple more of those. It's fine. It's all good. It made for a good talking point for sure. And it also did make me laugh. He just, I don't know, just the simplicity of childhood and like, I'm going to use these for drums. But I'll replace them. We'll go back to it. I've enjoyed that. Another thing that I have done is, and I'm sharing these things with you guys in hopes that maybe it sparks something like, oh yeah, I have a packet of that in the pantry. hot cocoa and Christmas movies. So I just made them their first mug, like maybe ever, at least at our house, of hot cocoa yesterday. And mainly because June has been begging me. There's some marshmallows in her pantry. He's like, can I have some? So I dropped some marshmallows in there, and it was super fun, super simple, fun. I love Christmas movies and cartoons during this time of year. I just like to kind of have them on loop. And I did want to share that I uncovered, I think for me, there's so many streaming possibilities and apps that you can have for different movies and shows and all that stuff. Amazon Prime has, included with Prime, there's a couple of different like vintage Christmas cartoons, compilations, how do you say that word? And they're excellent. And I turned one on the other day, and the boys were watching it, and I recognized it as my all-time favorite VHS that we used to have when I was little. Like, this memory dates back very far. And I watched it again. It was Christmas Comes But Once a Year. And I love that Christmas cartoon. I think it is so precious. So anyways, if you need a good suggestion on that, we also love the Star movie that's on Netflix. On the Freeform channel does, I think, 25 Days to Christmas. And so they have different movies that we'll go in and record so that we have them on the DVR. And again, just kind of have it feels like a good breaking up of all of the, like, I don't know, Ninjago, Hot Wheels racing, Thomas the Tank Engine, although I love most of those. It breaks those shows up quite well to just have, like, different Christmas cartoons and movies on. I will say you got to screen some of them, but anyways, those are some that I have loved. And the crafts are amazing this time of year. So June's CCE class, which is, I think that stands for Continuing Christian Education. They sent home some great materials this week, and it had him making a Play-Doh nativity scene this afternoon. And I don't remember the last time that June has played with Play-Doh, but it was so sweet. He was trying to make a little manger and all the little characters, so he enjoyed doing that for a while. He's been at our table like all afternoon. And then they also, I wanted to share this in case any of y'all want to kind of do your own version of this. So our Knights of Columbus are hosting a Keep Christ in Christmas poster contest. And so they sent them home with little 11 by 17 posters, which you could do it on whatever you want. But the theme is Keep Christ in Christmas, and you just want like their original artwork there, and they'll have like a little competition. But so anyways, I just love that prompted June and I to sit down and talk about keeping Christ in Christmas, and I loved watching where his mind went, because I got out a piece of practice paper and was like, okay, draw what you think that looks like. And so his first picture, which I actually love, and I wish we could submit to, because I like what he came up with second as well. But his first sketch was a picture of Jesus and Santa Claus with their arms around each other. And I loved it. What he ended up doing, he was like, I want to draw your nativity scene, because next to our table, there's my big nativity scene. And so he drew the whole nativity scene, all of the wise men and shepherds and, Jesus and everything. And then we ended up kind of filling it in with like the rest of Bethlehem, what it may have looked like. So I can't wait to see the finished project. He's actually finishing coloring it as I'm doing this. So in all that to say, this week we're enjoying the peace of being already packed up and in our car for the road trip here. The peace of being in the Christmas season, knowing that Jesus is coming, and just making every effort through all of the prep and the cleaning that we will look for every opportunity to prepare for his coming, to talk to the boys about Jesus, about his birth, and about how he changed everything. So hope you guys have a great week, and I will see y'all here next Sunday.